Hi everybody, the one Meta back again, back in the dorm. It's been almost a month, and I'm back. School's gonna start soon, so we'll be back to the normal schedule, where I'll probably be reading more than I did during my break. My break was... I was playing Smash a lot, so that distracted me, and a couple other games, and a bunch of board games that I got, which are really fun. I backed so many Kickstarters, and a bunch of them came when I was here, so I tried them out a lot. Sorry. Alright, but let's get down to the stories. I've got 4 that I've read over the break, and we'll start with Jealousy by Z.A.G. This is a Kingdom Hearts fic, where it focuses on the Final Fantasy VII characters. I didn't read many Kingdom Hearts fics. Most of the ones I did read were mainly because of Cloud, because Final Fantasy VII is like... that and Metal Gear Solid are like my 2 favorite games, so Final Fantasy VII is, very important to me, as I've already said, and Cloud is one of my favorite characters. So I was reading through a bunch of Final Fantasy VII. I was looking at those first, and then eventually I said, you know what, he's in Kingdom Hearts, so let me go check out some Kingdom Hearts fics with Cloud, which was a very small list, at the time, because this was like 2006-ish, around 2006, 2007 that I was looking at these stories. And so the fact that I'm looking for stories that focus on 2 very small side characters, yeah, it's really small. And I say 2 because I was looking up mainly Cloud and Yuffie, because I like Yuffie a lot too. So I was looking for them when they were 2 characters. And this story is about both of them. It's called, like I said, Jealousy, and the plot is, it takes place after Kingdom Hearts 1. And the idea is Kingdom Hearts 1 was the end all, so all the Heartless are gone forever, and now people are just rebuilding and stuff. And Yuffie wants to date Squall and decides, okay, how do I do it? I'll make him jealous by pretending to date someone else. And she doesn't know who to date, and eventually Cloud shows up and they fly back to Traverse Town and they start living there, and she just tries to use Cloud to make Leon jealous, and basically fluff ensues. Like, it's very much a small story. There's, aside from one element that honestly kind of feels out of place, and really just gratuitous, this one element did not need to be there. It was a complete waste of time. It's otherwise just a really small story about Yuffie trying to make Squall jealous by trying to date Cloud, but also opening up and finding out about Cloud because she doesn't remember him. And it's just a nice story. I like it. The characters, it's an interesting bit where Cloud's past and what he's done since they left Hollow Bastion the first time when it got taken over by Maleficent and stuff, and Cloud was separated, and he's been chasing Sephiroth the whole time, and he's done bad shit, and he's trying to get over it, and he's so focused on that. And Yuffie's trying to help him at the same time, trying to use him and getting to know him better. And Aerith is also there, and she also had some feelings for Cloud, and then it's now starting to get some stuff with Leon, and it's all just interesting connections, small kind of slice of life stuff for the most part. It's a nice story. I still enjoyed it, and I know I've got a couple other stories by this writer coming up that are also Harry Potter. I'm so used to it because there's so many writers of Harry Potter fics that I have multiple of, that I was just gonna say that, which one of them is on this list as well. But he's got a couple other Kingdom Hearts fics that I have on my list, I believe. But I think I know at least one. He might have another one. I'm not sure. But I would recommend this as a slice of life thing. If you like just little romance kind of things with a touch of action, then this, and you want to see it happening with the Final Fantasy characters in the Kingdom Hearts verse, this is a good fic. It's not the best. It's not like blow your mind amazing, but it's nice, just nice bit of fluff to get you through, and I'm keeping it on my list. It's gonna stay on my list. All right, and then next we go to another. Well, I don't know if it's another or not. Whatever. This fic has a big reputation. It's well known. A lot of people have talked about it. I don't know if the reputation is exactly good or not. Because again, I just know it has a reputation. It's called Make a Wish by Rorschach's Blot. I believe that's how you pronounce it. But so a lot of people know about him, this fic, and Mr. Black and stuff. And I read this a long time ago. I've reread it multiple times, and does it still hold up for me? And the answer is yes. I still enjoy it, even though I've read this thing probably 10 to 15 times at this point over the years, and it's still funny for me. Basically, the plot is after Harry gets the prophecy in the summer of after 5th year, he decides he doesn't want to stay with the Dursleys. He wants to go out and enjoy life. So he just splits, and then the rest of the people start looking for him. And while he splits, he starts, going on adventures, and because of his luck, shit happens, and things get mistaken for him, his stuff, and just he starts building a reputation that spirals into ridiculously. I still, like I said, it's really funny. A lot of the times, like it's basically a travel log with side, like every now with focused on Harry, like seeing the sights, like, hey, that's a very important site in like France, like, hey, there's the Eiffel Tower, and then meanwhile, oh, a bunch of Death Eaters just died by like falling down an elevator shaft or something, like just randomly while he was in an elevator. Like it's a whole bunch of stuff like that, while also him just collecting items and forming like a team out of nowhere just because he was having friends and just flowing around, and it's fun. It's all fun. There's like a couple serious bits sprinkled throughout. They don't last very long. They're just there for a bit, and it doesn't feel out of place, because again, he's traveling the world, and like these kind of things, like, yeah, they would happen with the way when they occur. It makes sense for why he feels that way, and the writing is good. There was a couple formatting errors, and when I say a couple, I don't mean I mean like literally in this whole story, in the 50 chapters, there was maybe like five part times where like the formatting fucked up. I don't really blame. It's a formatting error that was like very minor, where it was just like, oh, this line break happened in the middle of a sentence for some reason. It wasn't that big a deal. As I said, the story and everything is fun. All the humor still works for me, and it's there. So yeah, Mr. Black, you're always welcome in my place, and your story stays on my list. Alright, number 3 for this video is Final Fantasy VII The Story 2nd installment. I've said in a previous video, this is the second part of a novelization of Final Fantasy VII. This one goes up from where we left off, which was the Gold Saucer, and this one goes up to the reunion. There's not much to say about this. Again, same as the other. It's basically this is just what happens in the game. Most of the dialogue is taken directly from the game. The action scenes are perfectly fine, and she doesn't write like much grinding. Like she'll just be like, oh, they walk into an area and as they were going they had to fight these people, and like they'll do like one fight scene per area and then all the story fight scenes. It's again like there's not much this is more just a dictation rather than a story like an original fic. And as I said with the first one, Final Fantasy VII is one of my and like I've said before, Final Fantasy VII is one of my favorite games, and this is an easy way for me to catch up on the story. And again, for you too, and if anybody just wants to watch go through the story and not have to deal with the 100 hours of gameplay or hundreds plus hours of gameplay that it'll take to actually go through it by playing the game, this is a great way to read through it. And yeah, it's so, as I said before, and I'll say again when the later parts come up, this is staying on my list. And now the fourth one that we come to is called Where in the World is Harry Potter? And this is by Nanjan, another author who wrote a lot of Harry Potter fics that will show up on my list. See, I told you, I'm just that phrase is gonna happen. Alright. So this is similar to Make-A-Wish, but in the sense that Harry fucks off and goes on a world trip. Timing is different. This takes place after he's killed Voldemort. I'm not entirely sure about the actual time of when this occurs. Maybe 7th year, maybe a year or two after. Actually, yeah, I think it might be the year after. It's not 7th year. So it's at least 1 year after he graduated Hogwarts. This happens. He goes on. It's so in the summer, but instead of following Harry, because we don't know where he is, this one is like mainly he's fucked off, and like the Order of the Phoenix is looking for him, but it's really just like Hermione and Tonks and Albus, but just like because they miss him, not because they need him or anything. And Harry's just living it up, and he like sends articles to the Quibbler about like random stuff that he's been doing, things like, oh, he pretended to be a priest and then just started dancing at a gay club instead of performing the exorcism that the local church called him to do, and like, or like, oh, he went onto a basketball court and made a halftime shot to win $1 million and then donated it all to charity while partying. And then so it's a whole bunch of that with the random stuff happening and silliness occurring with that, and then it goes into the year with Nicholas Flamel teaching Defense Against the Dark Arts, who's looking surprisingly well for a guy whose immortality stone was destroyed many years ago. But he's there, he's spry, and it's like he acts the whole part of the dirty old man, and it's just this story is abound in silliness, and it's pure comedy. But it's not crack. It gives itself a level of seriousness and consistency that crack usually doesn't. And it has, it has an overarching goal, even if there's, crazy shit like Fred giving birth to an abomination and like random stuff going on with, what's another thing I could, like, Dubby getting an apprenticeship in cheekiness and learning how to be like a smart ass and doing things like that. It's all really fun. It's got a good like little twist in it, which is even more ridiculous and fun, and just all the dialogue is just, the gags all work for me. They're still humorous. It's the first part of a trilogy, which again the other two parts are also on my list. And it's all just it's just good fun. Like, I was smiling as soon as I saw that was the next one that I had to read, and I had a big grin on my face, and I was laughing throughout the entirety of the story. I just liked it so much. So if you want just some, like, again, it has coherence. It's not crack. It's just comedy. Same with Make-A-Wish. Make-A-Wish was also just comedy, not crack. So, like, again, this is another story that, like, if you like Harry Potter and you want to just see some crazy stuff, which is funny. And canon-wise, obviously, it doesn't like mesh with the 6th or 7th book. But that's not important. Like, it's just fun. It's got really stupid stuff, and I know this. I remember the sequels being fun too. Most likely they'll stay on my list as well, just as a heads up in the future. But yeah, again, this is a really fun fic, and this stays on my list. So there we go, 4 fics that I read over the course of a month. Yeah. Now that I'm back and I've got fewer games to distract me, I don't even have my PS4 here anymore. So I'll probably be able to read a bit faster now. And certain things I might just skim over instead of reading thoroughly now, just because it's become I'm starting to get a bigger grasp of how much I'm having to deal with. And I went back and looked at the guy who inspired me, and he's like, oh, I do like three chapters, and if it's good there, I keep it or not. It's like, okay, wow, that's way less work. I should have done that. But I'm still going to go through the majority of them, and honestly, if I like it, I'm going to end up rereading it anyway. So, and I feel like I have to reread them all, just because, you know, like one of the previous stories I had, it was an Ants Love. I got rid of it, and honestly, I felt I had planned to get rid of it early on, but then, like, if I had, I never would have gotten to the end where, oh, there was that one scene that I finally know where it came from that I was looking for a very long time. So there is still reasons for me to go and read them, even if it does take time. So we'll see how it ends up, but yeah, I think I'll again probably be putting these out, or even if I don't put them out as quickly, there'll be more in them, hopefully. And I'll see you guys next time for another trip down my favorites list. Catch you later.